All right, everybody, good day. Steve Przebrowski here. Welcome to tip number 31 in the series on 101 tips to ace your promotional examination. As a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has a lot of great free information on there to help you or anybody else that you may be mentoring, especially as we talk about mentoring in this episode and the next couple of episodes. A lot of great valuable info to help you and others. All right. As a reminder, this series is based on my 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam book that was recently published by fireengineeringbooks.com for all fire engineering books and videos. So check it out if you haven't already. Now, going back a little bit to lead up to this, in tips 27, 28, 29, and 30, we discussed talking to others, such as those that are already in the position that you aspire to, those that supervise the position you aspire to, and then also those that have also taken previous exams, not to mention also talking to your senior command staff. Benefits to all of those people that you're going to talk to as you learn to be the best that you can be as you prepare for that next promotional exam. So let's talk about this one a little bit. Tip 31, find your mentors. Now, a lot of these people are going to blend together. I mean, not everyone you talk to, not everyone you work with is a mentor technically. I mean, I know that sounds odd, but anyone can and should be a mentor, trust me. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm not a mentor, I'm just a firefighter, I'm just a captain, I don't want to, I don't have the time to be a mentor. Well, if you really, look at the big picture or look at it strategically, mentoring doesn't take time per se. Mentoring sometimes is just by us doing what we do on a normal day. I mean, a lot of times, I don't want to get into the definition of a true mentor, and I know this could be debated a lot, but personally to me, I know some people say, well, if you've never met someone, never sat down with them, how can they be a true mentor? I don't know. I'm going to look at it very generically. To me, a mentor could be someone that you have a great working relationship with, that you meet with on a regular basis, but it also could be someone that you've maybe read, meaning you've read their books, you've read their articles, you've also maybe heard them speak. Maybe it might be an instructor that you've had at college, or maybe just someone you sat through a class at FDIC one year, the big conference every year in Indianapolis, usually every April, and you maybe sat through and listened to somebody from whatever department, big city, small city, maybe they're a fire chief, maybe they're a firefighter, it doesn't matter. Maybe you just sat through their class for an hour, 45 minutes, and they inspired you. They motivated you to learn more about maybe yourself or maybe them. Maybe they inspired you to go check them out and see what they have on the internet. Do they have any other articles they published? Do they have any blogs they published? Do they have a website? That to me is, I think, very beneficial. And maybe someday you'll get a chance to meet them in person and maybe develop a more robust mentoring relationship. But to me, you can learn a lot from just watching people, hearing people, reading about them, and again, I'm not trying to get into the true definition of a mentor or debate that. I'll use an example that when I started out in the fire service, I didn't know a lot about the fire service, but when I wanted to become a firefighter and realizing, I'm going to have to take tests. I'm going to have to test for different departments. It may take me a few years. I'm going to have to go to the college, probably work on getting my EMT, maybe my paramedic, both of which I did, get my 2-year degree in fire technology, which I did, all those other things, network with others. But, the first mentors I had, obviously, and I know I'm deviating down a rabbit hole a little bit, were at the college, my college instructors, because they were all firefighters or, current or retired. But I also was looking at Fire Engineering Magazine, Firehouse Magazine every month and reading the articles and starting to get to know the names of the people that are writing those articles. Some of them I've had a chance to meet and get to know and be friends with. Some I never did, but that's to me is good mentorship. But anyway, within your department, whether you're a small or big city fire department, you may not know everybody in a big department, but everyone can be a mentor. And don't just say, well, it has to be a senior firefighter. Well, it could be a junior firefighter. I'll use an example at our department. We just had a class of, a handful of people, just recently graduated our recruit academy. Less than 10 people. They graduated in February. They're on the line. They're starting their 1 year of probation. They'll be done. They're halfway through it almost by now. But anyway, as I told them when they got out of the academy, yes, you're starting your 1 year of probation. You've got hopefully a long career ahead of you, but in about 6 months, you're going to be a senior firefighter to somebody else because The next recruit class graduates in August, about 6 months later. And then there's going to be another group of about 5 or 6 people, give or take, that are going to be coming out and looking up to those recently, recently hired senior, well, senior to them by 6 months. I mean, I say that jokingly, but in a serious way too, is that you're never too young or old to be a mentor to others, and you're never too early in your career or late in your career to find those mentors. And I say mentors, rank wise, could be any rank: firefighter, engineer, company officer. Heck, as a deputy chief, I have mentors of mine that are at lower ranks, and that's not uncommon. I have mentors of mine that are at higher ranks, lower ranks, because we can always learn something from anybody and everybody, as we should. One of the guys I got hired with one time came up to me as a deputy chief. He's a captain. I mean, we know each other very well. We got hired together, went through the academy together, been on the job 25 years together. He pulled me aside and we have a great relationship. He's a captain, I'm a deputy chief. And he's like, "Hey, Steve, I mean, in front of others, he'll be respectful and call me chief. But when we're one on one, I don't have a problem with him calling me Steve. And, I mean, I'll be the first to say, hey, feel free to call me Steve, no big deal." But anyway, he pulled me aside a couple of years ago and he's like, "Hey, Steve, can I offer you some advice?" And I'm like, "Sure, dude, throw it at me." And he's like, and he's, being very careful because and I'm like, "Dude, just lay it on the line. I've got thick skin." He's like, he goes, "The way you said that the other day," because he was around me when I said something to a group of folks, and I didn't think I was saying anything inappropriately, but again, you don't know what you don't know. And he came up to me, he's like, "Hey," he goes, "can I offer you maybe an idea of, or a different way of maybe doing the same thing over the next time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, please tell me." He goes, "Well, maybe when you're in that next situation and you're offering advice, take it a little bit more softer." And his advice basically was, offer it this way: "Hey, just as a suggestion," or, "Hey, maybe consider this." And it wasn't like I was saying, "Do that, do this." I'm not that way. I'm not that type of person. But his approach was just the more casual, kinder, gentler approach of just, "Hey, have you considered this? Or maybe think about this, or consider this, or can I offer a suggestion?" And again, most of the time, the other person's going to say, "Well, yeah, sure, go for it." They don't have to take your advice or your suggestion, but at least it's not like you're forcing it down their throat. But he felt comfortable enough to come up to me and be able to and say those things. And he still to this day will come up every now and then and go, "Hey, hey, I appreciate the way you did that," or, "Hey, I saw that email. That was perfect." And it's just, he doesn't have to do that, but he mentors me from a lower rank. And I don't know if he knows that or what he's doing, but I appreciate that, because especially the higher you up you go, you don't know what you don't know. And we all have our blind spots. And it's nice to have those people that you trust and you have a great relationship with, that you can have that, I don't want to say badge on the table conversation, but sometimes that's the way it comes down to, is just a one-on-one conversation someone appreciates. No different in some way than saying, "Hey, chief, your fly is down." "What? Oh, crap." I mean, you could have your fly unzippered, and how many people would even, well, notice it? Number one, and those that notice it, how many would say anything to you? "Oh, I don't want it. It's just the chief or just the deputy chief." Hey, that's true teamwork, is being able to have those conversations with people versus just laughing behind their back. But anyway, back to this: find your mentors within the fire department, because not just preparing for the promotional process, I know I beat that to death, but preparing for the position that you aspire to, you got to have mentors. You got to have those relationships in place, because you can learn something from everybody, not just what to do, but sometimes what not to do. So keep that in mind as you move forward. This Paul Combs cartoon, Paul let me use his artwork, this being one of the artworks in my book. And Paul does the monthly artwork for Fire Engineering Magazine. Very talented guy from Ohio. And you know what? This was just one of his drawings. I looked at it and go, "Man, this is perfect for, tying in the point of mentoring." Is, again, it doesn't have to be a senior firefighter, but whether it's an instructor, a firefighter, a chief officer, a company officer, whatever rank, find your mentors, because they may not come to you. Trust me, there are the good mentors that'll come up and put their arm around you and help you out. Hopefully you let them do that and you don't push them away. But there's others that may be shy and reserved, and you have to go find them. So that's why it's critical to make sure you're not shy, reserved yourself, that you go out there and actually try to get to know people and build those relationships. Because, if that other person realizes that you're willing to be a student, you're willing to learn, you're willing to be better at what you're doing, you're willing to be humble, you're willing to admit your mistakes, they may extend the olive branch even more and be able to say, all right, hey, this person wants to be better. So you know what? Let me see what I can do to help them. So find your mentors. We can never have enough mentors in the fire service. And guess what? You've already started building your network. I mean, your mentor network. And when I say that, if you've done the things I suggested in the previous tips by getting to, meet with your command staff, meet with those that are in the position, meet with those in the position above, you're already building your mentor network, whether you believe it or not. Make sure you thank them, maintain that mentor relationship, check in on a regular basis. Don't just be a vacuum and suck, suck, suck. Make it a two-way relationship to hopefully realize you appreciate what they're doing for you. That's why, mentioned earlier, sometimes ask them, hey, can I buy you a coffee or take you out to lunch, or can we grab dinner or breakfast or whatever it is. Make sure that you thank them. Even if they say no, it's a thought that counts. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Feel free to connect with me on social media. And until the next episode, y'all be safe, take care, and we'll see you soon.